Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have a real estate professional, but not your average real estate professional. This man is only 18. Yes, exactly. And he got his start at the early age of 17, closing what dare I say over a $20,000 real estate flip. You all want to stay tuned for this incredible show. This young man is absolutely killing the game. Here we go. Everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have Jacob Blank. This young man is only 18 years old, and he's been building a 7-figure real estate investment company from since the age of 17, right? Absolutely crushing the game. Jacob has been around the real estate business since he was 12, as his father has been in real estate, a real estate broker and investor since before Jacob was even born. The turning point in his life is when he was 16. Jacob got sick with monoculosis. I hope I didn't kill that. Due to him missing school constantly, the fact that he was starting to fall behind, the decision was made to have him drop out of traditional school to do online school so that he could fully recuperate. This was an incredible, difficult time in Jacob's life as he was sick and he was doing multiple things. And now this man is shutting down the game, and his first wholesale deal at 17-year-old, he netted, can you believe this, $30,000. And so without further ado, coming to the stage, Gentleman Style Podcast show, we have the incredible Jacob Blank.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Awesome, bro. I appreciate that intro. So I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Thank you, sir. You are crushing the game. Y'all see this baby face? Young man, this young man is absolutely amazing, and he is changing it in real estate. And so thank you for coming on the show. I want to dive right in. What's the story behind your success? How did you get inspired? Was it your parents? Was it your dad in real estate? How did you get your inspiration?
Yeah, so like you stated, I've been around the business since I was, 12, just painting walls and doing random stuff for him, like, just to make a quick buck on the weekend. And then when I turned 16, I got very sick. With it's hard to say, but it's mono basically. And so that basically beats down your immune system. So I needed to be getting a lot of rest. So I left school to do online school so that way I could get a lot of rest. And shortly after that, my dad got into trouble with a old business partner, and that guy turned out to be a scam and whatever. And so he was in a lawsuit, and this lawsuit hurt him mentally and like tore my family apart. And so this was the point where I was like, okay, I need to get involved and, try to help us get back on our feet. And so that's what I did. So the first thing I did in real estate was I put $5,000 down on a flip with my dad, and I doubled my money doing the process from start to finish. That was at 16 years old. And now after that flip, I found out about wholesaling real estate, which wholesaling real estate, you don't actually have to go in and fix up the house. You just get a property under contract for a discounted price. And then you find another investor that wants to buy the deal for a higher price, and you make an assignment fee for the middle, like a finder's fee for finding the deal. And I realized, wow, I could do a lot more wholesale deals in the amount of time it took me to do that one flip and make triple the money. So that's when I decided to go all in on learning everything I possibly could about wholesaling real estate. And that's really where I started to get, my feet on the ground and start running with real estate on my own, was once I found out about wholesaling, which was right about the time when I turned 17.
That's incredible. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then, so once I found out about wholesaling, right, I stayed up every night watching everything I could on YouTube. And, now, fortunately enough, a lot of people know me where I'm able to actually teach people how to get into the game just like I did. So I'm putting out the same videos on my YouTube channel that I learned from others. So I would stay up all night watching YouTube videos, filling out in my notebook, how to do these deals, how to find them, how to do the title work, how to do the transaction process, right? I was figuring it all out. And then once I felt like I had a good understanding of the business, I started taking action. And the first thing I did to chase after this deal was I printed out 1,000 flyers. And I went to all the distressed houses in my area, and I went to all the people that were late on their mortgage, that were in pre-foreclosure for not paying their mortgage, and I would knock on the door and try to give them a flyer saying, I buy houses for cash, as is condition, we pay all closing costs and commissions. And I'd pass out these flyers. I'd drive around town with my friends, passed out 1,000 flyers. I never received one phone call. And that's when I decided, driving around town was kind of a waste of time. And so I decided to, pick up the phone and start cold calling homeowners because I could reach a lot more people that way. So that's what I did. I started calling thousands of homeowners every day using a dialer. And then I went on a bunch of appointments. I got close to getting a deal, but I never got one. No one would sign the contract. So I never got the deal. And, this was like 3-4 months in on my journey. And I decided to hire 2 cold callers in the Philippines to make the cold calls for me, to find the motivated people and just pass the motivated people to me. So that way I could just focus on talking to motivated people and trying to lock up a deal. And so in total, it took me 8 months to get my first deal. And so right at that point, I was about 4 months into chasing this deal. I kind of felt like giving up. But once I hired these cold callers, now I was getting a lot more motivated people to talk to, and there was a lot more opportunities at hand. So then I just started following up with people. I went on more appointments, and, finally I got one property under contract in Gilbert, Arizona. But the thing is, this deal turned out to be a complete failure.
What?
I got this deal under contract, and when I went to the deal to walk a cash buyer through it to try to sell the deal, the cash buyer pointed out a bunch of foundation issues that I didn't see. And when I brought up the foundation issues to the seller actually let me know that they were hiding from me a $17,000 bid they had for foundation repair. So this unknown repair cost that I did not know about completely killed the deal. The numbers no longer made sense. So I had to cancel the contract with the seller because I thought I could not sell this deal to a cash buyer. Nobody would want the deal. It made no sense. And at this point in my journey, I felt like completely giving up, but I kept at it. I picked the phone back up and I kept chasing after this deal. A couple more months pass. I finally find another motivated seller that would consider a reasonable price. I was at about $410 for the property and he wanted $440. It looked to be worth about $675 after you put $80,000 in repairs into it. So I said, you know what, we're pretty close on price. Let me come out to the property and see, maybe I can come up closer to your price. We agreed on $430,000 for the property. I got the property under contract. At that time, now I had a couple good cash buyers built up that I was friends with. I walked one of them through it and they wanted to buy the deal for $460,000. So I signed the assignment contract with that buyer and boom, I had the purchase contract with the seller, the assignment contract with the buyer. And now all I needed to do was get this deal to the closing table and get it closed. And I would get paid $30,000 at 17. And that's exactly what I did. The transaction process from there on was simple. And I made $30,000 at 17 years old. Crazy.
That is insane. So you basically walked this deal, you locked it in, you did the research, your virtual assistants helped you locate this deal?
Yeah, so they would call a bunch of homeowners to try to find someone motivated that would consider a reasonable price for their property. And then I would follow up and, do the sales skills, the negotiation to try to really get the deal locked up.
That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing, y'all. So let me ask you, why real estate? Out of all the different things, you're smart, you're bright, you're intelligent, your family is already in the investment business. Why do real estate versus anything else? Why not be a stock trader or be a stock trader or a cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or anything else?
Yeah. So growing up, I always wanted to be a YouTuber, which is funny. And I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. This kind of, the opportunities presented themselves with the bad things going on in my life. This was like the one thing that came up as like in my face. This is an opportunity right here. And when those opportunities presented themselves, I took them. And that's what's important. But I wasn't taking an opportunity for something that wouldn't be long-term, that wouldn't be something that could impact my life forever, right? Real estate is a great business to be in. 90% of millionaires own real estate and made their millions off of real estate. So real estate is a great business to get into. And I knew that. And, I liked it. It was fun fixing up the houses. It was fun talking with homeowners and negotiating. So I realized, this isn't dreadful and there's good money to it. And, so the upside was major. And so I ran with it.
That's major. That's big. I love you guys for tuning in to Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have one quick commercial break and we'll be right back. But stay tuned for this dynamic superstar. In my eyes, he's a professional athlete. This is the pro leagues right here. This man is amazing. We'll be right back. But don't you guys go anywhere.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
Everybody, this is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host, and we have the incredible Mr. Jacob Blank, 18-year-old real estate flipper extraordinaire. This young man is changing the absolute game. He just broke it down to us, how he first got his start, how he was on the pinnacle of giving up, and he didn't give up, and he kept pushing, he kept striding, and he just learned and grew along the way. If you missed that, go back and check that out. Now, Mr. Jacob, who's on your real estate team? You mentioned that you hire virtual assistants. Who else is on your team? Who else makes up your real estate team?
Yep. So after I got that first deal, right, I had 2 cold callers at the time. After I got that first deal, I took that $30,000 and I completely reinvested it back in my business because I wanted to keep growing. I wanted to continue to get deals. So I went from 2 cold callers to 5 after I got that deal. And now in my business currently, I have 30 cold callers, 3 acquisition guys that help me follow up with the leads and try to actually close the deals. And then I have 2 admins that do like the transaction coordination and the dispositions of trying to sell the deals to the cash buyers. And so that's pretty much what my team looks like. 30 cold callers, 3 acquisition guys, 2 admins, and we are consistently growing and consistently still hiring.
Whoo-wee. You got a full-on staff. Oh my gosh. So what's the secret? Explain to us, my audience, take it from a 3,000-foot view. Where's the money made in flipping?
Yeah, so the money is made in flipping, with wholesaling. The secret sauce when you're looking down on this is in wholesaling real estate, you actually don't need that much money to get started. You just need to be able to afford a little bit amount of marketing. So that way you can find these motivated sellers. Because keep in mind, we're not fixing up the property. So we're just finding a deal, getting it under contract. So now we have the rights to that purchase and we're selling the rights to that purchase to a cash buyer that actually wants to go in and fix and flip it for a fee for finding the deal. So you don't need much money to do this. I don't think I spent more than $3,000 to $5,000 to get my first deal. So it's very possible to get into this business with little to no money. Yes, does it cost a lot more to flip houses for real? Yes, but that's what's so great about wholesaling real estate. It's a cash business, right? We're making a lot of cash in large chunks. So we're able to save up a lot of money so that we actually do have money to then go and invest to do an actual flip ourselves. And, when you do a flip yourself, you make more profit. So now because I've saved up money, and I have the, record in order to get loans, I'm able to actually fix and flip houses as well as just wholesaling. So, yeah.
So that makes sense. So the secret sauce and the magic happens in the fact that you don't have to have a large sum of money up front, and you already have the cash buyer on hand ready to go to take the deal and to pivot. Basically, that's what I hear. Pivot that real estate to them. And
you don't need credit. You don't need experience. You can literally learn how to do it for free on YouTube. I also bought a course as I was trying to do the business. I bought a course so I could learn it from A to Z. But, on YouTube for free, there is enough stuff to learn it and start doing it.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And so what was your best flip? Was the $30,000 your best flip?
Yeah, so my biggest deal to this day is $56,000 on one deal as for a wholesale. And then my biggest flip to this day is $98,000, and that actually closed last month. I did a $98,000 flip, profit, all profit, $98,000. I bought the property for $260,000. I closed on it. I'm actually flipping this one. I put about $15,000 in repairs, and after closing costs and everything, I sold it for $389,000, and I walked away with $98,000 profit, only doing $13,000 of repairs to this property. So because I'm finding all these deals, right, and I'm selling all these deals to other investors, I'm coming across these deals that are really, really good ones. So I decide to just take down the really, really good ones and sell the rest off, wholesale the rest off. So I'm able to like cherry pick the best flips with the biggest profit and the least amount of work. And so that's another awesome thing.
That's incredible. So how do you mention your team? You mentioned how you find your team and the team you put together. But what about the average person that's getting started? What's the best way for them to find deals in the beginning of the process?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube video going over this on the different resources I use to get my first deal. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get data and you're going to want to get cold callers. But I do recommend cold calling yourself first. So that way you have experience talking to the homeowners, right? You don't want to, you want to do everything first and then delegate it, then pass it off to someone else. So first I'd get data, and I can show you where to get data on my YouTube channel, but also I get data from partner.coleinformation.com/unlimited. So you can get data there, and then you're going to need a dialer. So that way you're not just hand dialing, right? You need a dialer system that dials multiple people at the same time and feeds you the people that pick up the phone. So that way you don't waste your time, hand dialing. And now you can cold call yourself. And then after you cold call yourself for a while, I recommend hiring cold callers. I hire cold callers at thecallgenius.com. And literally that's all you need to get started. You also will need contracts, a purchase contract and an assignment contract. And you can download my contracts at jacobblank.com/free. And literally that's all you need to get started. Obviously, you're going to run into road bumps and learn as you go and do more research as you go. But that's literally how I got started right there. Contracts, cold callers, data, dialer, deals, $30,000.
Ooh, spilling all the tea, y'all. This is incredible. Mr. Jacob Blank is spilling. I wasn't expecting all this tea. This is a lot of tea, y'all. I am just flabbergasted. Sir, you are incredible. We have one more commercial break. We'll be right back, but stay tuned. We got the incredible Mr. Jacob Blank spilling some more tea. See you guys soon.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
Everybody, we are back. We have the amazing Mr. Jacob Blank. He just spilled some incredible knowledge on how you set up your business, who's on his team, the amount of staff he currently has, but also he gives us some of the knowledge on where to get started and what you basically need. And if you need more, scroll back, tune in, and get those links. Get to his YouTube page. He is also a YouTuber and influencer, as well as a strategist and business professional. This young man is only 18 years old. Y'all hear me? He's 18 years old. That's powerful. So, Mr. Jacob, tell us, you with wholesaling, the biggest thing, and I think this sets a lot of people apart, is getting the investor, because when you wholesale that deal, and when you put that assignment contract and you put that money down to hold that property, you have to have an investor ready to purchase with cash. How do we go about finding an investor or investors to purchase our flips?
Yeah, so it's, if you have a good deal, it's going to fly off the shelf. And, how do you go about getting people to know about this deal? The easiest way is to use real estate Facebook groups, right? There's in every market across the country, in every state, right? There is a bunch of real estate Facebook groups. Join all those groups. And when you get a deal, send out your deal in there, send some pictures or a Dropbox link with your pictures and say, hey, I just got this deal, address, asking price, estimated ARV, lot square footage, living square footage, give them the information on the property, and boom, these investors will start hitting you up. And, as you're in the business, as you're more active in these real estate Facebook groups, as you network, you will find good cash buyers, you build relationships with them, and then boom, you have your customer,
That's incredible. So get on these Facebook groups, y'all. Utilize Facebook. That's the money. That's the magic. Yeah. Share the links, right? It's not hogging the real estate, right? In wholesale, it's a networking business in order to establish those relationships. And
it's not even just to sell your deals. The real estate Facebook groups are great to, network and just learn the business as well. It's a great place to, connect with other people just starting out as well.
That's true. That's true. So you mentioned your best deal, which was, I think, like $90,000, your best flip. That's incredible. What was your worst deal? Was it the one with the 17? Because you didn't buy that one. What was the worst flip you've ever done?
Yeah, so I still made out all right. I didn't lose money, but I was supposed to make $30,000 on this deal without doing any remodeling to it. I purchased the property. This was a flip, not a wholesale. I purchased the property. I was not going to do any remodeling to it. We're getting close to the close, where the deal's almost closed, and all of a sudden the ice maker line that goes to the fridge breaks in the middle of the night, floods the whole property. So that killed the deal with one buyer. But then I found another buyer that still wanted to buy the deal, and we were going to fix everything in the house. But then I offered them $6,000 to just buy it as is and take my $6,000 to fix it up, right? To fix the damages. And they took the deal. So I only made like $4,000 on that. But last night, I got a check for $2,000 from the insurance company. So I made out with about $6,000. And I was supposed to make 30 some, but made 6. And it was a lot of stress and headaches. But, we made it happen still. Got it closed.
That is a motivator. That's a mover and shaker. So you are unstoppable, man. You don't let nothing get in the way of you closing that deal, and you make it happen. And it just worked in your favor, and it worked out. So y'all see, the reason why I asked that question is powerful because I didn't want y'all to just think this is glam and glitz and everybody's getting $90,000 checks. There's still some deals that aren't going to come out your way, and Mr. Jacob Black is here to spill that tea, and he's being honest, and he's so humble, right? Mr. Jacob, we have a question from our audience, and it is Miss Shamika Tremaine, and she asked the question, what are some warnings or advice would you give to someone who is just starting out?
Yeah, so warnings and advice. When you're first getting started, my first deal, I way undersold the deal. I could have made a lot more money, but I'm happy with the $30,000 I made. It changed my life forever. But now looking back, I could have made like 60 on that deal, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I undersold the deal. So try to find someone that's a big wholesaler in your area, build a relationship with them, and they can even help you sell your deal, and you can give them like a $5,000 cut. But because they know what they're doing, they'll probably sell it for a lot higher, and they have a lot of good buyers. So it's good to network with someone that does a lot of deals in your area. That way, when you finally get that deal, you can actually have them help you sell it. You'll wind up, making less mistakes that way. Other advice, you want to, getting a mentor in anything that you want to do is good. So, there's a lot of, I paid a lot after I got that $30,000 check. I invested a lot of it into mentorship. I spent like half my money into mentorship with a really big company here in Arizona that was local, that does a lot of deals. And they taught me literally how to take my business from that $30,000 check to $1 million in a year and a half. So once you do get paid, look into mentorship would be my second advice, because you want to go further faster. You don't want to figure out all the bumps in the road yourself. They can tell you what to do to avoid those mistakes.
Absolutely. That makes sense. And that's incredible because the mentor is going to help you skip a lot of those bumps, and he's going to help you over just like that warning you got for the $17,000 issue that you almost missed. That saved you $17,000 in repair that you were able to get out of that assignment contract, get out of that contract with.
Yep.
So that's big nuggets right here. These are jewels. Oh my gosh. How do you know a deal is a good deal? How do you evaluate your flips to know this is a good deal, this is a bad deal?
Yeah, so while we're talking to the homeowner, we run the numbers on the MLS or a different software like Propelio or PropStream that shows the database of recent sales. And so we look at sales that compare with plus or minus 20% of their square footage. So they're just about the same size property, same size lot, same size living square footage in a mile radius that have sold in the past 12 months. So they're like the same comparable properties. And we look for the highest sales and we look for the lowest sales, and we figure out where we need to be in order to, have room to flip or to sell the deal to another investor. And that's kind of how we do it. So what we do is we find out the ARV, which is the after repair value, which would be the top sale in the area. And then from that ARV, we minus repair costs that are needed. We minus investors' profit, which is 10% in Arizona, but depending on the market, it could go up to like 15%. And then we minus our assignment fee, and that equals one more thing, we minus our closing costs, which is 7%. You got to minus the closing costs, and then that equals our MAO, our maximum allowed offer, and that's what we present to the seller.
Whew.
That's how we
what
to offer.
What's a good number to start with? How much should someone, before they do their first wholesale, how much money should they have on hand before they do their first wholesale?
Yeah. I think it took me no more than $5,000 to get my first deal, so I would have $5,000 if possible. Can you start with under $1,000? Yes. But will it take you longer to get that deal? Will it be harder to get that deal? Yes. But if you don't give up, will you get that deal? 100%. You will eventually. Money could assist in making it come quicker, though.
True. And then to cross over to the house flipping, because you and the rehab and the wholesaling and the rehab, how much money should someone have on hand?
Yeah, you're going to want to have, somewhere around 75,000 in the bank, 100,000 in the bank, because you got to be able to put down 25% of the purchase price to get the loan, to get a hard money loan. And you also want to, have, backup just in case something goes wrong. You got cash in the bank.
Absolutely. Miss Shamika is on fire. She has another question. What's the next step for the business? Rentals, commercial property. So I think she's asked, what are you on to next? What's the next major milestone?
What's the next step for business? So I'm doing a lot of the social media stuff, trying to, impact more lives and get other people into the business and show the youth that college is not the only option, because there's so much out there on the internet nowadays to, change your life. You don't have to go the traditional route anymore. I didn't, and then, so I'm focused on that. Also, as far as rentals, yes, rentals, but we are trying to acquire rentals doing creative financing and subject twos, which creative financing is we negotiate terms with the seller to take over their loan, or terms for their property. If they own it outright, then we just create terms with them. So we offer the seller like $10,000 down, and then we try to be under 5% interest. And then we'll take over their loan or just take over their property and pay them payments every month and put a tenant in there that's paying us a higher amount of money. So that way we're cash flowing every month. And that way we don't have to, put a ton of money into the property. We're buying them sub 2 creative financing with small down payments. So that way we're able to, build a big portfolio rather than just picking up a few, because we're trying to creatively get these properties for a small amount down. And so that's what we're focused on.
Did y'all see those hand moves?
As well as just scaling the wholesale business and adding more people to the team and doing what we're already doing, just more and better.
Absolutely. Did y'all see those hand movements? You see the passion that comes out? He must be Italian. He's like, yeah, so you got to do this and this and this. I love it. So how have you survived? We are in a recession, a pandemic, COVID-19 is everywhere. How have you survived in wholesaling in this pandemic?
Yeah, so fortunately, the real estate market has stayed strong. You know, when this first hit, a lot of people in this industry, you know, ran for the hills, and we did not. We stepped back a little bit on our marketing. We cut back on our costs a little bit just till everything chilled out a little bit. But now the real estate market is at all-time highs, and 2021 is one of the best years for real estate than ever before. So, you know, thank God that, you know, this has worked out good. But, you know, everybody always has to live somewhere. Somebody's got to live somewhere, you know. Yes, there's people that don't have a home, right? But most people they got to live somewhere. So there will always be a way to make money in real estate. So if you just know real estate well, you will find a way to weasel in and make money somewhere if all turns to shit. You know what I mean? So
right. Hustle. You got to hustle,
Yep.
y'all. Hustle your hustle is insurmountable, Mr. Blank. At 18 years old, you are on your way, brother. You're going to be retired at 25.
Thank you. I hope so. It's hard work, man. I'm up all night, get barely any sleep. All I do is work because I want to, you know, build for my future now, and I owe it to myself to make my dreams come true. So
I love that. How can my audience connect with you? How can they find you? How can they grow with you on your journey?
Yep. So at Jacob Blank _ on Instagram, at Jacob Blank _ on TikTok, and then on YouTube, just search up Jacob Blank. You'll find me. I literally teach you the real estate game for free. I go really in depth, showing you each tactic you need to know and the principles you need to know to start making thousands of dollars in real estate. So check me out and start learning how to make money and be successful in real estate.
Whoop, 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 whoop. I hope that, Mr. Jacob, I want to thank you, brother. This has been phenomenal. This has been absolutely incredible, to not only for me, a blessing, but my audience and also future generations to come. Just like you said, there is a bright future and you are a part of that future. So I pray that you always continue. I pray for your strength. I pray for your mind. I hope you continue to grow and never, ever quit, because we need you. The world is changed and blessed by you, man.
I really appreciate that. I'm just trying my best, you know.
Absolutely. You're doing a great job. Keep pushing. I wanted to point out this quick thing, you guys. If you guys notice below, Miss Shanique Henry has a unique icon next to her name. She's actually a sponsor of this channel. So if you are interested in becoming a sponsor to the channel, please join my Facebook page and check us out and consider becoming a YouTube sponsor to the channel, because that's how we find and serve you guys. And I'm able to find great audience and great guests like Mr. Jacob to come and serve you in this unique way. So I just wanted to point that out. Mr. Jacob, is there any final words, any key notes that you wanted to point out to the audience to leave us one last jewel if you had one more in your pocket?
Yep. So if you have ever wanted to get into real estate, or if this video made you want to get into real estate, just know that 2021 is one of the best years to get into real estate, and is going to be one of the best years for people in real estate. So now is the time. Stop waiting and starting in real estate. You owe it to yourself to do so.
Woo! Cheers. That's dope.
Appreciate it.
I love that. So thank you all for tuning into Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message has served you. It's definitely served me. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and look forward to the next episode. And hopefully we can get Mr. Jacob back in the future as his empire grows. We can grow with him and connect with him and follow up with him and see how he's doing in the foreseeable future, to see how his 2021 is going. So that's my little plug. Hopefully I can get him back on the show. Pray for me, y'all. You
can, for sure, always.
We got it. So thank you all. Like I always say, take care of your families, take care of your homes, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast Show and Mr. Jacob Blank, 18-year-old real estate flipper, signing off. Love you guys. Bye.